Hey guys, welcome back to the Foolish Show. Of course, I am Foolish Phil. Just wanted to give you some of my thoughts after Michigan's 85-83 victory over the Iowa Hawkeyes this afternoon. And, I know there was a lot of other sports going on. Just watched the end of the great SEC title game, went to overtime. I thought I'd watch that game before I do the video, so it's not totally right after the game. It is what it is. Watch some cool sports. This game was the epitome of what I fear the most about Michigan. I know they're still trying to learn how to play with each other. This is, I think, game 9, I think it is. 8-1 now they are. And game 9, and you just can see where this team will have trouble. And it's, again, going to be the turnovers. But let's get to that in a minute. First off, Michigan just blitzed Iowa to start the game. They ended up being up 20-6. At the under 12 timeout. But at that point, Michigan started getting sloppy. I think they had 5 turnovers in like 7 possessions, something like that. And that just let Iowa get right back into the game. Now, not only was it Michigan being sloppy, but then you just see where they play some token half-court defense, and full court defense, I should say. And Michigan's still turning the ball over, or they're rushing too quick and like going in and missing layups and such. And so even though Michigan scored 85 points, which is great, you still had so many turnovers. In the first half, Michigan had, I believe it was like 14 turnovers in the first half. No, sorry, 11. They had 11 in the first half. They had 16 for the game. Now, if you remember, if you watched one of my other videos, my goal was to always be like under like 13 turnovers for the game. They had 11 in the first half. And so that basically just, allowed Iowa to completely come back in a game they're going to get blitzed out of, down 20-6, 8 minutes into the game. And at halftime, it was a 3-point game, 37, I think, to 34, something like that. Or 40-37, there it is. Oh, the turnover bugs, man. Michigan, on the day, turned the ball over 16 times. Iowa turned it over 4. I didn't see the final stats, but the last time I saw, Iowa had 16 points off of Michigan turnovers, and then they added more. Michigan had a nice little run in the second half. They got up by 8 points with like under 4 minutes to go. But then turnovers. It was just so disappointing. Missing layups and missing free throws. And Iowa got hot. Sanderson, some interesting things, right? The first half, Freeman, they're big. He got 2 fouls in the first 2.5 minutes, and he went on the bench. And so that's where Michigan really got to that 20-6 lead. But then Iowa just started chipping away. Obviously, the turnovers helped. In the second half, he had 13 points. Sandfort, he had 0 points. At least he was 0 for 9 in the first half. He had 19 points, I think it was. Maybe it's some free throws in there. But 19 points total. I think it was all in the second half. It could have been. There were some free throws there he did. I remember he got fouled on a three-pointer. He hit 2 of those free throws. So he had some, but he really got going in the second half too. In fact, Iowa had 5 people in double figures. Now, that's the negative side of things, right? Michigan blew kind of the game. They got the win. The win's all that really matters. The turnover bug reared its ugly head. Let's talk about some of the positives. Free throw shooting was much better. I think it was 17 of 22 for the game, so pretty good on that. You have your 7-foot centers, each had double-doubles. Vlad and Wolf had, double-doubles. That's great. Michigan, in fact, had 5 players in double figures, including Cheddar with 13 off the bench. So that's really good. Burnett didn't have much of a game. He had like 5 rebounds, I think 2 points, maybe? Like nothing much. But the other 4 had double figures. And then you add Cheddar off the bench. It's interesting, you're still kind of seeing Michigan lacking that floor general in crunch time. I thought maybe it would be, Donaldson. Today it seemed more like Wolf taking bigs off the dribble and getting in for layups and such, but I really think they're struggling with that a little bit because they blew that 8-point lead with under 4 minutes to go. Iowa tied it up with 30 seconds to go about, and Michigan got a goaltending call for them to get the 2 points. And then, Iowa had a desperation 3 with 1.1 seconds left, something like that, 1.6 left, and it hit off the rim. So this is where you just see Michigan struggling. They can play good defense, but then they're just not a complete team when you're turning the ball over 15 plus times a game. They got to get that fixed. And obviously I know, the coaching staff knows that. It's just, how are you going to do it? But it just seems to be it starts as a trickle. Like, first half, Michigan was moving the ball really good, getting easy shots. Boom. All of a sudden, make an extra pass, but it's like the guy moved when you didn't think he was going to move. And so you pass the ball out of bounds. And then the next one's like a travel. Then the next one's just like unforced mistakes. And then it just spirals out of control. And all of a sudden, Michigan can't seem to get out of its own way. So Dusty May is going to have to try to figure that out. I know a couple games ago, he pulled all 5 starters and put in the backups because they were playing poorly. But let's focus on another positive. I saw this via Twitter. Michigan, like I said, is 8-1. You know what? That reminded me. I saw the tweet. Michigan won 8 games last season. Altogether, 8 games. And they got 8 games, I believe. 8 wins in 9 games. So what a turnaround. The transfer portal certainly helps. Getting all kinds of good players to come and play for Dusty May helps. And what a transformation you can have via the portal, a new coach. It's great, man. It really is. And so Michigan improves to 2-0 in the Big Ten. They're looking okay. Now they finish off their non-conference schedule. I think they're going to play some tougher opponents. I didn't look at the schedule, and then they'll have a couple cream puffs, I think, around the holiday, Christmas break and all that. But this has been a really good start to the year. They just got to get things figured out. I mean, if you would tell me they would start off 8-1, I'd be like, wow, that's unbelievable. Cool, really great. But they got to keep it going. They got to shore up those turnovers. That's the biggest problem they have. Hey, if you guys have any thoughts, put them in the box below. I'll try to respond as I'm able to. As always, thanks for watching, and until I see you guys next time, as always, go Blue.